In March, President Obama commuted 22 nonviolent drug offenders, and recently he's commuted 46 more, and he had this to say about it.
Over the last few years, a lot of people have become aware of the inequities in the criminal justice system. The fact that we spend over $80 billion a year in incarcerating people, oftentimes who've only been engaged in nonviolent drug offenses. Right now, with our overall crime rate and incarceration rate both falling, we're at a moment when some good people in both parties, Republicans and Democrats, and folks all across the country are coming together around ideas to make the system work smarter, make it work better. And I'm determined to do my part wherever I can. That's one of the reasons why I'm commuting the sentences of 46 prisoners who were convicted many years, or in some cases, decades ago. These men and women were not hardened criminals, but the overwhelming majority had been sentenced to at least 20 years. 14 of them had been sentenced to life for nonviolent drug offenses. So their punishments didn't fit the crime. And if they'd been sentenced under today's laws, nearly all of them would have already served their time. I've made clear to them that re-entering society is going to require responsibility on their part, and hard work, and smarter choices. But I believe that at its heart, America is a nation of second chances, and I believe these folks deserve their second chance. I also believe there's a lot more we can do to restore the sense of fairness at the heart of our justice system, and to make sure our tax dollars are well spent, even as we are keeping our streets safe. That's something I'm going to discuss tomorrow in Philadelphia, where I'm going to lay out some ideas for criminal justice reform, many of which are already getting bipartisan support. Together, we can make our communities safer. We can spend our taxpayer dollars more wisely, and we can make sure that more of our citizens, even those who've made mistakes, have a chance to become productive members of society and contribute to this country that we love.
Now at the NAACP, here are his thoughts on criminal justice reform.
Over the last few decades, we've also locked up more and more nonviolent drug offenders than ever before for longer than ever before. And that is the real reason our prison population is so high. In far too many cases, the punishment simply does not fit the crime. That's why the second place we need to change is in the courtroom. For nonviolent drug crimes, we need to lower long mandatory minimum sentences or get rid of them entirely. Give judges some discretion around nonviolent crimes so that potentially we can steer a young person who's made a mistake in a better direction.
So when he says that the crime doesn't match the punishment, look, that's 100% true. I mean, we live in a supposedly free society, right? I mean, we can drink alcohol, in some states we can smoke marijuana. So why is it the case that grown adults aren't allowed to put whatever substance that they want in their body? It's weird, right? I mean, doesn't that seem to violate the principle of freedom? So wouldn't it naturally just follow that that sentiment correlates with freedom? But I mean, if you think about that, then we're not as free as a society as we may want to tout ourselves as, and we are violating the principle of freedom. Now let's look at the statistics actually. So the US has more people locked up than any other country in the world, and that's including authoritarian regimes such as Iran or totalitarian regimes like North Korea. Now over 95,000 inmates are locked up for drug charges. That's about 48.6% of the federal prison population. Now of the 3.9 million citizens on probation currently, 25% of them were for drug charges. Now of the 853,000 people on parole, 32% of them had a drug charge. Now, this does not control for individuals who have drug charges as well as other charges such as theft and assault and also a drug charge, that is. But when it comes to who qualifies as a non-violent drug offender, well, it's estimated that there are about 35,000, which makes up about 17% of the federal prison population. So the takeaway is that President Obama is doing a really fantastic thing here. One, he's making the right decision, and two, he's really controlling the narrative when it comes to criminal justice reform, and he's getting us to question the actual drug war because obviously it's a failure. It hasn't worked. It's led to more criminal activity in Mexico. Well, the cartel basically controls the entire state. Now, if you legalize drugs, well, that removes their monopoly. So he doesn't, well, a lot of people don't realize that legalizing all drugs, or at least decriminalizing them, would reduce crime. I mean, the best thing that we can hope for is to tax and regulate all drugs, so that way we can fund drug prevention programs and education programs in order to reduce the number of drug users who are addicted. So this is a really fantastic thing that President Obama is doing, and I 100% applaud him for it, because this is what should be done. It's not only something that is practical, but it's just. Now, I only hope that he speeds up the process and actually gets to all 30,000 before he gets out of office, because at 46, a total of under 100 so far, well, you're only scratching the surface, and you've really got to get going on this, because these people shouldn't be locked up.